Hi, welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to do a quick reminder to please take a moment and check out the Content Hub for additional resources from our event partners. And now, on to our next session. It's an executive interview with Thomas Kurian, who is the head of new markets at Treasure Data. So, welcome, TK.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for being here. Looking forward to talking with you today. Could you tell us a little bit about Treasure Data?
Absolutely, sir. So, Treasure Data, we are the market leader in what's called the enterprise customer data platform
Mhm.
category. We are a 10-year-old company headquartered here in Silicon Valley with currently over 450 enterprise customers in multiple industries, including automotive, CPG, gaming, media and entertainment, and life sciences, of course, and globally. We, as a company, believe that there is nothing more important to any enterprise than its customer data. So we invest all our time and resources building applications, technologies, AI, ML models that serve as solutions to use cases for enterprise customers to use their customer data very precisely in every interaction with their customer, whether they're working in a marketing function or a sales function or customer service, and ideally over time, all of the above together, executing off the same persistent customer data.
Hmm. That's a lot. So, you mentioned pharma. So, are pharma industry challenges unique? And kind of how does Treasure Data help the pharma industry adjust those specific challenges?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So every industry is very unique, and the pharmaceutical industry, from our perspective, has a very unique challenge in the sense patents that they develop retire after about 20 years. So a journey of a drug is essentially split into three parts. During the first decade or 10 years, approximately, of the life of the drug, typically the patents are filed. Billions of dollars are spent in drug discovery, clinical trials, and obtaining approvals for commercialization in different geos or geographies. The second 10 years, the investment is focused on commercialization of the approved drugs, which means executing successful sales and
Mm.
marketing to obtain a return on investment on that $1 billion plus investment that is happening in the first decade. And in the third decade of the drug journey, the original patents start to expire. And when they expire, the generics enter the market, and the market becomes extremely competitive and
Yeah.
commoditized. So it is well studied that when a generic drug hits the market after the patent expiration, the name brand drugs who invented the category, their revenue and sales drop by 80% in a couple of years.
Yep.
So, therefore, during that middle decade of commercialization, where there's little to no competition, it is imperative for pharma companies to be very precise on their commercial operations. That
Mhm.
specifically sales and marketing. And precise marketing is currently where we help our customers most in currently, because the window of opportunity is 10 years or less, and they have to do this. It is imperative before the
Yeah.
generic center. So
No.
that's the difference in the pharmaceutical industry as
Yeah.
compared to CPG or some other industries, and therefore that middle layer is where we play a very important part to help our customers.
Oh, it's a great point because there's a limited time frame
Mhm.
when they have to really take advantage. So, I'm also curious, like, what are the key benefits or competitive advantages of pharma adopting Treasure Data's enterprise CDP for marketing solutions? And kind of, can you share some anecdotal results from your current customer base?
Absolutely. So with our what we call CDP for marketing, we essentially enable the customers to execute this precise marketing in that middle decade.
Mm.
And by that, what we mean is we are able to bring all their customer data and other pertinent data that helps them with their customer data, including things like American Medical Association license data,
Mm.
in to design and operationalize, systemically a data-driven customer funnel plan. The HCPs are in, let's say, in a five-stage customer funnel, and they all
Okay.
have different needs, and they're able to execute against, KPIs of converting from one stage of the funnel to the other, and able to track what they did well, what didn't work well, and what they could improve on from a data perspective. Additionally, they can build purposeful audiences to execute specific campaigns and generate pull-throughs from the campaigns. From an
Mm.
evidence perspective, there are two sets of evidence I can share. First is the larger pharmaceutical companies who are our customers. They typically have started in implementing our product specifically for a single brand that is a billion dollar drug already. And
Mm.
evidence so far is that they are able to get uplift from the use of CDP of up to 6% within 12 months. And the
Right.
uplift comes from increased adherence because HCPs are more engaged with the brands. And from that engagement, they're in turn more engaged and focused on adherence of their patients. And therefore, you don't lose patients because of
Right.
lack of adherence, and therefore that uplift is very meaningful for those large companies
Yeah.
who are focused on getting mid-stage uplift from that specific drug. The other type of pharmaceutical companies are we have as customers are these biotech companies, of which there are
Mhm.
thousands, right?
Yeah.
And they have just got their approvals, if you will, to commercialize their drug. And because there's no legacy technology from a software perspective
Mhm.
in their organization, or even customer data, or sometimes even data scientists, they typically begin to engage with us 2 to 3 quarters before they anticipate FDA approvals. And then as soon as they get the approval, they are able to start executing, very precise marketing with our CDP for marketing from the get-go. And that puts them in a highly differentiated situation
Mm.
because they
Yeah.
don't have any legacy. It's greenfield, and they operate with a very powerful tool that is used by even very large pharma companies. So I personally feel that every pharma company, irrespective of size, should start doing this with
Right.
every right from the commercialization stage, so that they can be very precise and programmatic about this from a data-driven perspective. So for this category, the velocity
Right.
of the stage of conversion of HCP funnels, the rates are much faster than the
Hmm.
previous example. And so people, HCP's progress towards the progress through the stage is much faster, and the uplift percentages are more meaningful. We haven't
Mm.
had anyone, with 12 months of execution from in the second category, but they're all over the 6% uplift already. So it's two different things. The big companies, they can get very meaningful and measurable uplift in single digits, in within 12 months. The other is they can be competitive with very large companies from a market
Right.
perspective from the get-go. So this is the evidence that we are seeing from our customer base currently.
No, thank you for sharing that. It's great that it can be adaptable depending on what the needs are. Um, I'm also curious, like, how does Treasure Data support pharmaceutical customers' AI and ML needs?
Yeah, so it is critical nowadays to support
Hmm.
customers with from an AI and ML capabilities. The first set of tools we have is customers can bring what we call bring your own AI ML models to run within our software. We support a tool called HiveMall, which is a very scalable machine learning library. And also we support Presto, which is an open source tool that was originally built in Facebook to run interactive queries of 300 or 400 petabyte data warehouse. So these are very powerful tools that they can, bring their data and bring their models within Treasure Data CDP and use and execute them very easily. The second is we have a bunch of out-of-the-box AI ML tools or models specifically that address unique functions that are day to day. And our customers can deploy them by themselves. For example, a model that we have is content affinity model. So it extracts keywords based on the content consumed by different individuals, and is able to, model a profile for each consumer of the content. The second is we have something called in pharmaceuticals, it is propensity to prescribe, essentially. So it is a predictive scoring mechanism that provides, a predictability of each HCP's propensity to prescribe. And the last thing we have is very templatized AI/ML models for more functions
Mhm.
that can be customized. So they're not out of the box. They have to be customized by the customer, or with professional services, or one of our partners can help them. And these examples are things like next best product, which is a
Yeah.
recommendation engine, next best suggestion,
Yep.
which pharmaceutical companies are using with their own AI/ML models to drive high efficacy suggestions to the commercial or sales team. So three sets, essentially, very powerful tools for them to bring their data or ML models to run in HiveMall or Presto. The second is out of the box models for them to run and use day to day. The third is templatized models that they can customize very easily, or with a partner, or with our help, and use day to day.
Great. I mean, if a prospect was interested in CDP for marketing and CDP for service, how can they then ensure it covers all of their immediate use cases and captures the right requirements to make their business successful?
It's a good question. So we see a lot of RFPs come in from different industries, including pharmaceutical companies, and we hear from customers. And we feel that based on the evidence of what we see in the RFPs and what we hear from customers, we feel that we have an asset called Treasure Data's complementary RFP success guide and template that is used extensively by competitors. I mean, by customers to have internal conversations, align around needs, and publish their own RFPs to vendors to serve as a source of truth. And it encapsulates their immediate needs and also aspirational needs. So we see it, we see evidence from the forensics of RFPs that come in that asset is used significantly, and we don't always win the RFPs, but it's good to see that that asset is making a meaningful difference in multiple customer RFPs. And the second thing is, when the RFPs come to us, we take it very seriously and as a source to affect our technology and application roadmap. So because they're aspirational needs. The second set that customers can look for on our website is case studies from multiple customer success in multiple industries. So our customers typically get comfortable sharing their brand, with success only after 18 months to 24 months, because their brand is very important, right? And very that value, attaching their brand with a company, treasure data, is a very measured decision for them. So, and every industry can learn from other industries on what has worked and what could work better and things like that. So that case studies provide a lot of depth and a lot of
Yeah.
confidence for people looking for that. And lastly, many of our 450 customers are available for anyone to talk to one-to-one privately, and we facilitate those office hour conversations for them in through the journey.
Excellent. Well, we are just about out of time. So thank you, TK, and to Treasure Data for such a great conversation. And to everyone in our audience, we'll see you at the next session.
Thank you, Stephanie.